Hi folks, Slick Slices here. Sorry it's been a long time since I've been posting regular videos, but as many of you will know, I fell over in February and broke my neck at C5 level. I'd already had a pre-existing spinal condition, but now I have some metalwork in my neck to stabilize things. And I've had 4 months in rehab, but you know, I'm home now, and that's when the real rehab starts, I think. And one of the things that gets me moving again is starting to make some videos. Certainly good for my hand dexterity, which is somewhat diminished. I'm just going to do this open tag, modern slip joints. Now, I've kind of restricted things to proper slip joints as opposed to double detent knives and detent knives and friction folders. I've left all of them out because if I did, we'd be there for a long time. And instead I've just decided to show a small number of my more influential slip joint knives and modern slip joint knives. And what I mean by modern is generally that they use modern materials and that they are held together with screws rather than being pinned. It's a bit of a broad generalization, as there are modern slip joints that are pinned, but I would say are still very definitely modern. Like these ADV knives, you know, they are integral bolsters and liners, are using modern steels, and they've certainly got a couple of screws holding the covers on, but basically they're pinned knives. But I'd probably still call them modern, but we'll stick with my limited definition of screwed together modern materials. So this here is one of the most outstanding knives I've seen in a long time. This is the QSP Hedgehog. Most QSP knives tend to be named after birds, but I think the penguin is the obvious example, the hawk and a couple of others. But this one is the hedgehog, and it's great. Now, it was sent to me by QSP. I didn't pay for it. So, you know, take it for what it's worth. But what I'll say is 14C N28, 14C 28N even, steel, beautiful hollow ground blade coming to a very, very sharp edge straight out of the box. I mean, I know you can sharpen a knife if it doesn't come sharp out of the box, but honestly, if it doesn't come sharp out of the box, you have to question, you know, is it really a knife that they're making or something that looks like a knife? Anyway, these come really sharp. I like this blade shape. It's sort of a sheep's foot blade shape, I would probably call it. You could call it a razor shape, and with the hollow grind and the very sharp edge, yeah, you could even get away with that. It has this golden carbon fiber handles, which is kind of a premium material, and as I say, it's held together pretty much like a traditional, and with the 3 points that's held together, but these are all screws instead of pins. So steel liners, you can see the other side, you can see the screw there, and the 14C 28N marked on there. Got lanyard loop. It's a nice little knife. It's quite simple, but it's very functional, and I've had this since, well, it arrived just after I went to hospital. I picked it up a couple of months ago and took it with me, and it's been in my bag ever since, and it's had some quite serious use without sharpening, and it's turned out to be a great knife. I really like it. So that's one that I've been really quite impressed with of recent. Here's one I've been a bit less impressed with. This is the is from the Tactile Knife Company, and its name, BEXAR, is the subject of much debate. Some people say it should be Bexar, some people say it should be Bear, and I think the actual answer is it's a Spanish word, and it's Bejar. Now my pronunciation of Spanish is not great, but Bejar as opposed to Bexar or Bear. But you know, take that for what it's worth. Now, what's impressed me with this Magna Cut? So it's lovely thin blades, good sharp edge. It's a nice even grind. The milling on this handle is very nice. If you want a slim knife in your pocket, you're never going to get much better than this. You've got a captive pivot with quite a nice design to it, and overall a pleasing shape. A couple of things though that bother me. One is a design issue. I think these little really shallow nail necks are just badly designed. They're not deep enough to use as an opening method. Why are there two of them? I don't see the point in that. But the way they're cut, they accumulate dirt. It's difficult to get out. That's a design error. So I think that's something that they could and should look at. Fit and finish is an area, you know, this is a £200 knife, $200 knife, and yet the spring doesn't fit properly. You know, they're a company that prides themselves on their ability to machine metals accurately, and their milling on there is testament to what they can do. So really, there's not much excuse for not getting that right. But well, that's what they did. I mean, overall I quite like it as a knife, but I just think there are a couple of things that really ought to be sorted. And next one I'm going to show you is the one I've really loved for a long time. Now I carry one of these as an everyday carry, only I have it, I have them on with the titanium bolsters. The reason I don't have that here today is because it's in my bag that I take out when I go out every day. I have a few of them. This one's in G10 S30V blade, which I'm, you know, quite happy with as a steel. It works well for me. Yeah, maybe we'll all move on to Magna Cut or M390 or something in the long run. But this has been a great user knife for me. They have it's kind of a Puukko style knife, which is, you know, fair as it's from Finland. It has a half stop, as do all these knives, but the half stop on this one is particularly attractive to me because it's not at the halfway point, it's less than halfway, and that's quite important to me, because sometimes I find with the half stop knife that when you start to fold it, it can fire the blade into your finger and cut you quite deeply. I've done that with a number of knives. I should also say this first one here that's got a pocket clip on it. Not a great fan of pocket clips, and indeed one of the other Enzo PK70s that I carry, I've taken the clip off. This is the micarta version, only it's micarta with a flat ground blade, which they don't do, but was done specially for me by Brisa. Now, here's a knife with a bit of innovation to it. I like trying to show knives that would take a modern take and actually do something with it. And in this particular one, I mean, it's okay. It's got a clip, an injection molded handle. It's screwed together. It's got a one-handed opening with the spidey hole. I can't actually open it one-handed, but that's I could do before my fall in February, but not since. But also this is this slip it movement, which they have in a number of their knives. The squeak, this is the urban, and the UKPK, which means it's harder to close than it is to open. So that makes one-hand opening work better, but it also means the knife's kind of safe when it's open. Also got this nice choil here, which if your finger is in there, there's just no way the blade can shut on you. Not that I think it's a great problem anyway, but for those who lack confidence. What I don't like about it is that it has the cheapest of their Grivery handles, not the Volcano grip. So it's kind of like a Slipjoint Dragonfly in many ways, but without the nice Dragonfly grips and the shaping of the handle. Seems an opportunity missed. This could be a really nice knife, and it's not as though it's particularly cheap either. Now, one of the, not necessarily the earliest, but one of the most popular of the relatively early modern traditionals was the Benchmade Proper. Now the Benchmade Proper is not a perfect knife, not by any means, but it's got some good things going for it. I really like the blade shape, it just appeals to me. It's S30V, which again is a step up from a traditional knife, and it's got the nice green micarta handles. They do also do it with red G10. I never liked the bright red colour, and I'm less of a fan of G10 than I am of micarta, so this is my favourite version. They also did it with clip point blade. Problem with this one is the action on it is a bit weak, just not got much walk and talk, so that upsets traditional knife fans, and that includes me. But I still like it. Now, one of my favourite modern traditionals, I've got a few of these by J.E. Made, but this one gets pulled out as my favourite because it's in the Lanny's clip style Tony Bowes designed, I think in the 60s, possibly 70s, but I think it was the 60s. So the Lanny's clip blade is very true to the Tony Bowes design. The handle is similar, but he's added this little hump here. He's put in a stop pin, and that updates it and adds something to the design. But he's also, the most innovative thing about this knife though is that when you take a slip joint to bits, it's easy to take them apart, but putting them back together can be difficult and actually quite dangerous because there's quite a lot of spring pressure in the back spring, and if you've got a nice sharp blade, when you're trying to get the 3 pivot points, actually this isn't actually a great way to show it. You'll see here you have a pivot for the blade, a pivot for the back spring, and then the fulcrum that the back spring works on. Now this is exactly the same, except you've got the covers so you can't see those screws, but there's a screw there and there's a screw here. Now trying to get that all under tension without stabbing yourself is quite hard, so much so that there's another Lanny's clip here, Benny's clip. Jack Wolf one comes with a quite explicit instruction not to, and he's even made a video to show you why, because you could cut yourself very badly. But what J.E. May has done is he's built a device that comes with the knife. You put this screw in at the back, then you push this device through the lanyard hole, this sort of conical thing, and it pushes everything into line, so that when you put that last screw in, it goes in without any bother, without any extra pressure. Now I'm just going to show you I'm not putting the Jack Wolf knife in here because I can't see that it's brought any particular innovation. It's brought modern materials, but they were there already. It's brought M390 instead of S35VN, but you know, that in itself isn't anything special. It's got fat carbon. Well, I can get some fancy carbon with my 80 quid QSP, so I'm missing that one out. I'm going to go on to one which is a bit like the proper in that it's a sort of missed opportunity. This is the Harsey designed, Chris Reeves made Impinda, which I quite like it as a knife. The action has a bit of the propers about it. It just doesn't feel quite right. But it's a nice knife, it's a nice size. Sadly, the blade length is 3.1 inches. I never understand why people do that. But this one's S35VN. I suspect they'll probably make them in magnet cut at some point, even if they haven't already. It's got a decent big pivot in it. Titanium handles, traditional back spring. They've done a little bit like the proper has by shaping the tang of the knife to give it a slightly different opening and closing, which is an improvement. The last one I'm going to show you today is there are a lot of knives coming out of Italy. Now that Spyderco is actually made in Italy as well, but this one, this is a Viper. Viper have come up with some really good slip joints of late. I think this one bears good comparison with some of the higher end knives like the Jack Wolf. You've got integrated bolsters and caps with the liners, all machined out of titanium. You've got good actions, you've got really good materials. This one is M390, I believe it is indeed, just check. The one difference is that the Italian knives tend not to be hafted. Instead they use crowned spines. It's not a better way of doing it, it's not a worse way of doing it, it's simply a different way of doing it. But it does save a lot of work in the hafting that has to be done to make sure that a knife is beautifully smooth on the back. And if you have different finishes like that, you're actually making life quite hard for yourself. By crowning everything, you can just assemble a box of parts and any liner will fit any back spring, will fit any cover, will fit any blade. You don't have to have them, you know, if you have two of these, the chances of pieces swapping from one to another and fitting exactly, it's quite slim. But you know, there you go. But I mean, it can be done. The PK70 has brilliant fit and finish, and it was a third of the price of one of these. Anyway, that'll do for now. That's was that 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 modern slip joints. I've got plenty more, but you know, there's got to be a limit to what I show in one video. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.